Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have some pretty big quick news to go and cover for you guys with a brand new PlayStation 5 bundle that's actually apparently kind of coming out over here. We have some pretty big news when it comes to Ubisoft. We have some pretty cool Final Fantasy 16 news. We have some crazy Embargo news and everything else in between. But first and foremost, we're going to talk about the brand new console. So if you guys will stay tuned, relax, and enjoy, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We got that Twitter and Twitch room down below if you guys want to follow, probably hanging out and chilling out up on Twitch if you guys are bored. Link down below. And leave your like and thoughts and comments if you guys would even go pick up all these nice little cool little consoles too as well. So, as I mentioned, we actually have a brand new PlayStation 5 bundle, which is also kind of crazy because it does seem like we just keep on seeing Sony churning these bad boys out. Now, in case you guys are kind of curious on this one, we did go and see this, where it is a brand new PlayStation 5 normal disc edition, but it also does and goes and includes a 2-year PS Plus membership. Now, I'm kind of okay with this. I'm kind of cool with this, I think. It's not the world's worst bundle, mainly because sometimes people don't want to play the game they're going to be buying. So say like the God of War bundle, which is still linked down below for $500. I mean, in all honesty, that bundle for literally being $0 additional for the normal God of War, because the normal $499 disc edition is the same price. That's like an almost unbeatable bundle. Like, don't get me wrong. And I'll be kind of curious on what the main price point for this bundle, because that's going to be probably one of the biggest sellers. So right now, we don't really know how much it would cost, because typically, like, if you get a really good, number one, this is also a premium bundle. I want to remind you guys in that one. So as you guys know, when it comes to PS Plus, there's 3 different tiers. You have the Essential, and you have the higher tiers, blah, blah, blah. So number one, this is included as a bigger and higher bundle, which is also kind of nice to go and see. It's the premium edition, so it costs more money. But as well, it's also a 2-year deal. And now typically these things are not usually too much more extra money, I guess, for them, like, to basically go make or produce, because it's literally like if either people get PS Plus or they don't. There's probably a lot of people who have PlayStations who don't even have a currently active subscription. Think like people with like PS4s or whatever it might be. But right now, this seems like a cool deal. We don't really necessarily know what price point is going to be. If it's like a $450 one or maybe $499 one, then maybe not be the world's worst bundle. Although most of their bundles we kind of keep seeing around like the $560, $550 range or so, depending on what game they include in, based on like the Ratchet & Clank ones in Europe and the Horizon and God of War ones, and even the Final Fantasy 16 ones as well. So I'm not really sure if they're just going to default to that price, which would actually be a massively good deal, mainly because premium does cost so much money. Like, I feel like of all the bundles so far, this would probably be the one that I myself would probably pick up the most, because I like playing the multiplayer games, and I'm sure a lot of you guys do currently have an ongoing PS Plus subscription, because like you just want to play COD or Rocket League or Fortnite or wherever you guys go and play, like all that type of stuff. But it's also PS Plus games and blah, blah, blah. So basically, if you're brand new to your console and you got this, you'd also have access to the streaming. They also did mention they want to introduce PlayStation 5 streaming for brand new games. So all the stuff kind of put together does make a lot of sense. Like, in my mind, it just seems smart. It just seems good. I am honest opinion. But it also depends on the price. If they go for like a $600 price point, which in theory would maybe make sense because it is a 2-year deal, yeah, sure, maybe it's not the worst. But in theory, if the infrastructure is already all set up for it, they don't really have to pay too much extra money. They never had to pay too much of the development costs, just maybe just normal hosting fees, etc. But also, you can almost see it just being like a lost leader, where once their 2-year subscription plan is done, they realize how nice it was, and they probably would want to go and repay it. And this is the very first time they have to pay in the first place. They're probably more likely to go pay it in general because they're kind of used to all the actual additional PS Plus stuff. Like, I'm sure you guys know how normal marketing works. But overall, this has been like the most recent leaked one, and it does seem kind of cool. So let me know if you guys would like this one more. I do also, like I said, really like the God of War bundle. It makes sense because it is a $500 flat bundle. I don't think this would probably be $500, although once again, it doesn't really cost Sony too much to do this, and it would also incentivize more PlayStation 5 overall users, and they typically make a lot of money also off their additional sales of games like Final Fantasy 16, God of War, Horizon, etc., etc. So it almost is also worthwhile for them to, well, get people on PS Plus, keep them reoccurring on PS Plus, and also releasing a lot more additional games too as well. In my mind, it makes a lot of sense. So let's go for that one. So give me your thoughts. Do you guys like it? Do you guys dislike it? We're not sure exactly on the release date. As of right now, there is currently a Final Fantasy 16 bundle that is up for pre-order as well, in case you guys still need to get your consoles. Or as I mentioned a few times, the Amazon links down below, the God of War bundles too as well, which is still probably one of the better deals out there, even better than probably than Final Fantasy 16, because you just don't have to buy Final Fantasy 16 with that bundle cost, and there's nothing super special special with it. It's just the normal baseline console with the digital code. So if I ever want to have a proper strat, I'd probably do the God of War Ragnarok bundle for the $500 price point, get that game for free, and then buy Final Fantasy right afterwards, and you get 2 games for the same price as you would get for the other bundles. So like I said, if this was like a $551, pretty good deal. $600, maybe not the worst. Anything above that, probably not that worthwhile. If it's $499 flat, that's probably a fantastic deal, although all these bundles typically do start off in a higher price point. So we'll kind of go and see. Let me know your thoughts and comments and all this one down below. Now, I also want to give you guys a few quick little things over here too. Some kind of big news on Ubisoft. Now, Ubisoft has their Star Wars mobile and free-to-play, and they're basically bid to transform its business. So the CEO, Yves Guillemot, other publishers buy companies, and we tried to go and then just build things. So he's basically kind of calling out a lot of folks out here in the gaming world, being like, bro, for us, like, we're here to go make games. We don't want to go buy games. We don't want to be like an Xbox and buy games, or even PlayStation, buy Bungie and buy games. No, we want to be the GOATs. We want to get that good stuff. So they go and say one of the best games of the year, in their opinion, was by Ubisoft. I didn't really necessarily mind Mario Rabbids. It wasn't my favorite game, but it wasn't too bad. And he said it was even going to be a breakout hit. Its predecessor had exceeded 10 million players. It was the Mario game of Christmas, and the only real competition was Pokemon, which was arriving a month later. Although they think it didn't really work out that well, it'd be harsh to call the game a flop, but it missed Ubisoft's target significantly, and also was a disappointing Christmas overall from Ubisoft, where even Just Dance, their big bread and butter besides Assassin's Creed, failed to hit the mark. So they said they even said that the market is suffering a little bit of an inflation situation, Yves Guillemot told the game industry during its actual big event. There is more pressure on all families to be more careful. We see that everywhere. We met with the first-party partner at midday, and they have also seen the influence of the economic conditions and how much people are buying. Although I think it was a different issue with Mario. We already had released a Mario Rabbids game on Switch, so by doing another, we had 2 similar experiences on one machine. So people either had to go pick and choose, or if they played the initial one, it doesn't really change too much for them. And Nintendo games like this never die. There are 25 Mario games on the Switch too as well. Nintendo has advised that it's better to do one iteration on each machine. And they were basically like saying like, hey, Nintendo, like, we're just kind of chill. Like, we should probably just go and wait. But it's also kind of a big hint too as well that they said that we should have waited for the next console, mainly because, well, that might also mean that the next Nintendo consoles might be coming sooner rather than later. If you guys did go and miss it too as well, there was a new Nintendo Direct that will be coming up very, very soon as well, where they had a little bit more brand new news for not Splatoon, I think it was for Pikmin 4, which I actually am a little bit excited for. I could be wrong though as well, just so I kind of saw like while I was scrolling on through, but there is going to be a new Nintendo Direct coming up now for the future of the rest of the year and probably the next of next year, and we're still kind of waiting for any proper good games to happen. I'm also still waiting for any type of Switch Pro news. But keeping you guys in the loop, that's kind of a little bit more kind of talk about how, like, Nintendo, they probably should have listened to Nintendo and went for there. They say because you could play a great game, and we think it'll last for 10 years because we will update it for the new machine that will come in the future. So Ubisoft also reevaluated Stay in the Blank of basically disappointing years, and they had a big redundancy in some of its games and business. And it's basically canceled projects. They're trying their best to focus on bigger IPs, such as Assassin's Creed, trying to make those games better, make them like more to the roots and what people want, and maybe not spending as much money on side IPs that may not do the best. They're saying we're taking advantage of opportunities to make sure the brands we create can be played by more people across the world, but also pushing more things like the Ubisoft Plus and probably just making the games on mobile, etc., etc. They want to have games like Assassin's Creed on mobile, so they have more territories and more people in like India or China, Japan, Korea, etc. And also they met some star players too as well, and they said they never thought they'd play a Division game on mobile, but they are going to maybe try to go check it out and see. So they're trying their best to go and actually make and expand out the current brands and IPs they have right now, rather than going and focusing on other various big games or buying out studios as well. I still think an Ubisoft would be a phenomenal pickup by a PlayStation or an Xbox, though, in my honest opinion, or at least like more of a strategic partnership because they have so many different games like Assassin's Creed, etc. It's not the most expensive company. That's like still a few $billions, don't get me wrong, but I'm sure if that was in like a PlayStation exclusive for games like Assassin's Creed, etc., or even other Tom Clancy type style games, that'd probably be really, really big. They also have some other cool stuff too as well, such as like TV shows. They want to have their own ski shanties. They want to go have like a skating game too as well with doing tie-in games like Jet Set Radio. And they're trying to go push out X Defiant, which I think a lot of folks have been getting hyped up for too as well with the new Avatar games, old school Star Wars games, etc., etc. And they're basically trying their best to go make sure their current IPs are growing and doing well, such as like The Crew, Assassin's Creed, and everything else too on top of this. They say, well, they want to go and have these other publishers buying companies. No, we want to build things. We want to make sure our IPs are doing well, and they want to make sure that they have control in it, which I do want to say I respect a decent bit. So kind of an intriguing thing over here for Ubisoft's future plans, basically just trying to make better games out there. Some kind of cool stuff as well, that the Tower of London will display a Final Fantasy 16 sword in the Royal Armories. So kind of cool, there's a replica sword from a video game to be displayed in this random royal tower. I don't know how Square Enix pull it off, but that is actually there. That's kind of cool. If you guys want to put a little video on my channel, I do not mind. But yeah, it's going to be very, very intriguing to see this. And as well, the Final Fantasy 16 review embargo date and time will be coming out over here very, very soon. So we're going to have to wait and see. It's going to be coming over here in the next few days or so. We have to wait another 12 hours. So by tomorrow, you guys will be able to see if this game's going to be good, bad, or ugly. I'm very hyped up for this game. All the initial early impressions have been very good, and I'm very excited. So give me your thoughts and comments down below. Make sure you guys are subscribed, swing by the Twitch stream and the Twitter if you guys are bored. And of course, check out the Amazon links too down below. And I appreciate y'all so much for watching in the first place.